All right, so our subject right here is Jesus, who the world called Jesus, Yeshua, HaMashiach, Yeshua HaNotri, Jesus of Nazareth. Jesus of Nazareth is identifying which Jesus we're speaking of. Jesus in the Talmud, Yeshua in HaTalmud. So now, first of all, right here, we need to define terms. Yes.
Where Hebrew feels like home.
So the word Talmud. Now we've heard a lot about Talmud. We hear about the so-called Jewish Talmud. We hear about the Babylonian Talmud. I don't know if you heard about the Jerusalem Talmud, the Palestinian Talmud, some call it. Also, we have the Ethiopian Talmud. See, the word Talmud means teaching. That's the first thing right here. Here's that Talmud. The word Talmud means teaching. Right? Talmud, right? From Lamad in Hebrew. Right? Telamdeni, teach me. Telamdeni. We have Talmud. Talmud in the Hebrew, and even in the first century time, this is the Hebrew term, or the Yehudit, right? In the Hebrew roots and culture, it's the Yehudit, right? The Judaic, in the Jews' language, the Yehudi language, the tribe of Judah language, for disciple. Talmud, right? So we have Talmud, Talmudim, disciples, and that which the disciples is taught by the Rebbe, right, by the rabbi, as we are taught by Robbeinu Yeshua HaNotri, our rabbi, the rabbi of rabbis, Jesus of Nazareth, Yeshua HaNotri. So the first thing here, right, in the English, Jesus, right? Now, we have to just touch on this right here because we've heard a lot about this. I'm sure you probably heard and seen videos and seen lectures and, oh, look what the Jews say, and Jesus here, they're saying that he's boiling in excrement and this and that. And there's a lot of fake Talmud quotes out there that's circulating. So when we talk about, Yehudi hate, Jew hate, this goes way back. This goes all the way back to, the first century time and even before. But here we're speaking about Jesus, and speaking of Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus who is HaMashiach, or in the New Testament times called Christ, right? So is Jesus really in the Talmud? And where in the Talmud, and what does it really say? We're going to give just a couple of examples right here. I think it's necessary to give some examples because in our study, we heard many things, we read things, and then we started to study, right? To study to show ourselves approved. And we were surprised, very surprised at the results of our study. In other words, what our study yielded. That's why it says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. All right? Okay, so. All right, so right here. Let's go to some of our exhibits now. Some of these books here are some interesting books. We don't have them as of yet, this particular document right here, but we'd like to get it, see what the authors take on it. But there's some great software out there. I think the Safari software and other software that has a lot of these books and manuscripts. Now, the Talmud, right, there's Talmud Torah. Do you know what Talmud Torah is? Talmud is the teaching, right? The teaching of Torah, right? So Talmud is an operative word in what's called the Hebrew language, right? We call it Yehudit, but in what people, popular, speech and popular parlance call the Hebrew language, Talmud means teaching, right? The Talmud is the teaching, right? This is why we say, right, called chosen and faithful, we the black Jews of the line of the tribe of Judah. We say, give us the teaching of his majesty, because we don't want no devil's philosophy. So there's true teaching, right? And there's all kind of teaching. We talk about education, the education systems, and, getting proper education for the youth and proper education for people in general. So there's also the teaching, right? So the Talmud, as we know it and call it today, is a compendium, right, of ancient teaching, right? And even has some latter day and modern, additions to it. It's basically compilations. Like we take all the Hebrews or the One West Israelites, all the different camps. Imagine if we do this today, even amongst the so-called black Hebrews and the Hebrew Israelites, some of our, how can we say, fellows, right? We the once lost, now found. We the Beta Israelites. If we take all the different teachings amongst different, you could say, denomination, different camps, different groups, different teachers, both now, both yesterday, the teaching of the Israelites, especially we here in these here Americas and Caribbean, right? Over the past 40-year teaching, right? We go back to the commandment keepers, right? The Ethiopian Hebrew, the royal order, the Ethiopian Hebrew, the commandment keepers, congregation of the living God. We look at the teaching that they taught then. We look at the teaching of different groups. There's the Yahweh ben Yahweh group, right? As Israelites. There are like the African Israelites of Jerusalem. There's the One West Israelites. And with all the splits and the breaks, there's these different camps that have different teachings. There's some things that are similar, yes, but then the breakaway, there's all these different teachings. So what we're trying to bring out and just describe is that what Talmud means. Because a lot of people think they understand what it means. And it's, the Talmud this, right? But the Talmud means teaching, the teaching, right? And the Talmud, right? Talmud, right? In the Ivrit or in the Hebrew, as it's called, the Yehudit, means disciple, a Talmud, ha-Talmud. And the Talmudim are disciples, so Talmudim. And the master, or the scholar, the teacher, is the Rebbe, right? The Rebbe or the Rab, right? The rabbi, right? And our rabbi is Yeshua HaNotzri, right? Is Jesus, Yeshua HaNotzri, Yeshua of Nazareth, all right? Just want to make that very clear. So is Jesus the Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, because there's actually more than one Jesus in the Bible. I know that might shock someone right there, but there's more than one Jesus in the Bible. Let's show and prove the more than one Jesus in the Bible.